Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really plunging into a whole stack of sources all about the future of work and, crucially, the skills you'll need to, well, navigate it.
Yeah, we've been digging into reports from, let's see, Skills Development Scotland, McKinsey, the World Economic Forum, and also the Talent Management Institute. Quite a range.
Definitely. And our mission here really is to try and cut through some of the noise.
Exactly. We want to unpack what's really driving this, well, incredibly fast pace of change in the workplace, and most importantly, pinpoint those core skills that are shifting pretty rapidly from just nice to have to, need to have.
For almost everyone, it seems.
hmm
Okay, so let's unpack this then. The world of work. It's not just seeing minor tweaks, is it? It
Yeah.
feels like a fundamental transformation.
Oh, absolutely. And the sources seem to agree on the big forces here. You've got these huge technological leaps like AI and automation, which are reshaping tasks, roles, everything.
Right, the tech side, but also the urgent pressures from climate change. That demands big shifts.
Definitely. Towards a green economy. And then there are these big economic factors too: inflation, cost of living.
And changing demographics, like aging populations in some places. It all affects where and how we work.
Yeah, Skills Development Scotland, they talk about Industry 4.0, which is basically, interconnected systems, super fast tech adoption, and jobs that are just less predictable.
So less predictable means you can't just rely on the skills you learned years ago.
Exactly. You need what SDS calls adaptive resilience, that ability to bounce back, keep learning, plus foundational digital skills, obviously.
And McKinsey's analysis seems to echo that, highlighting how AI and automation are really going to redefine jobs, which ones shrink, which ones emerge.
And it's not just about tech skills, as you touched on. Climate change means whole industries might need to pivot, right?
Yeah, SDS noted that demand for green skills, think renewable energy, sustainable practices, it's already growing faster than the supply of people trained for it.
And the demographics point. In places like Scotland, populations are aging, people might work longer, maybe need to completely reskill, maybe multiple times, just to stay relevant in their careers.
It's this constant shifting that brings us right to the skills themselves.
Right. So McKinsey, they looked really closely at high performers and identified these 56 specific, distinct elements of talent, deltas, they call them.
Okay.
It's a mix of skills and mindsets they argue will benefit pretty much everyone. And they group them into four big buckets: cognitive skills.
Like critical thinking.
Exactly. Then digital fluency, interpersonal skills, how we work with others, and self-leadership, so managing ourselves.
And the World Economic Forum's research, that seems to line up pretty neatly, doesn't it? They list things like analytical thinking, active learning, complex problem solving.
Creativity, resilience, leadership, tech proficiency.
Yeah.
When you put those lists side by side, they really do fall into similar areas.
Yeah, problem solving, managing yourself, collaborating, and using tech effectively. It seems to cover it.
What's interesting is how they sort of reinforce each other. As the world gets more complex, those problem-solving skills, like dissecting tough issues, they become indispensable.
And the TMI source really hammers home the self-management skills point. Things like resilience, managing stress, staying adaptable. Because, well, uncertainty is kind of the new normal, isn't it?
It really is. And they emphasize resilience isn't just something you're born with. It's a skill. You can actually develop it.
That's such a key point, that it's developable. It connects to what TMI also argues about AI. AI is great for functions, automation, but it fundamentally can't replace what makes us human, especially, they say, in hybrid work settings.
Right. So those working with people skills, leadership, communication, empathy, even handling difficult conversations.
They become more valuable, not less, as AI handles the routine stuff.
Exactly. The premium goes up on that distinctly human interaction.
And underpinning it all, as you said earlier, is digital literacy. It just seems non-negotiable now.
Totally. It's not just knowing how to use a computer anymore. It's understanding data, some cybersecurity basics, being comfortable with new digital tools as they come along.
And McKinsey found a strong link there, right, between higher digital skills and higher incomes.
A particularly strong correlation, yeah.
But what's really fascinating from McKinsey, I thought, was this finding. While higher education often links strongly with cognitive and digital skills,
Right.
it showed a much weaker link for many of those self-leadership and interpersonal skills.
Like self-confidence or dealing with ambiguity or empathy. Yeah.
So it raises a big question for you listening. Where and how do we best build these vital human skills if traditional degrees aren't always the main place?
Well, it really highlights the critical need for ongoing adult training, accessible, continuous learning, just like McKinsey suggests. skills just have a shorter shelf life now. So that constant adaptation, that reskilling, it's essential.
So what does this all boil down to for you, navigating your own career path? Whether it's about honing analytical thinking, boosting digital confidence, building that capacity to bounce back.
Or just getting better at connecting and collaborating with others. These aren't just abstract concepts or buzzwords.
No, the sources consistently show that developing proficiency here, it's already linked to real benefits.
Better job opportunities, yeah. Higher earning potential.
And greater satisfaction in your work, too.
So the clear takeaway really is that seeing yourself as a lifelong learner, someone who's actively adapting their skill set.
It's not just good advice anymore.
No, it's pretty much the fundamental mindset you need to thrive in this, well, evolving landscape.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting, maybe a final thought. If those automation projections are even partly right, suggesting potentially displacing hundreds of millions of workers globally in the next decade or so.
It's a staggering.
And a huge portion of those people will need entirely new occupational skills. How fundamentally might your own idea of what a career even is? How much might that need to change?
Yeah. And what does a career path even look like then?
Something to think about as you look ahead?